Hello, hello, hello. Mic check, mic check. How you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, nice, loud and clear. How you doing today?
Very good, and you?
I'm doing wonderful. I had a little weird issue with my internet for some reason. Like all my other computer, everything was working, but for some reason, X was not opening on my work phone, and I only like to use my work phone because it connects best with my headset. And like you know how that works. If you got it
Yeah,
working right on Twitter, you do it that way. I mean, this.
exactly.
Oh my God. So no, yeah, I was having issues though. It was like not opening. And then eventually I just restarted the phone and then everything was fine. I don't know, maybe my phone just needed it or something. But my partner was like, "Hey, you there? You there?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's one technical issue. This time it's not actually Twitter, it's me." No. So yeah, no, I'm ready to go when you are. I just wanted to make sure your mic was good before we actually started it off.
Yes, absolutely. I'm here and ready.
All right, that's no, I'm excited, dude. Like I tell you what, ever since 2024 hit, it's been nonstop technology, infrastructure, development, utility, really mixing web 2, web 3, and like today is going to be no short of an exciting Twitter space. So like I always say, without further ado, I don't want to waste any time. I'd love to deep dive into this, actually learn a little bit more about the product, but really kind of understand how the team and really came up with the idea to bring this. I'm really a unique platform and ecosystem to what is an already kind of a robust ecosystem being developed right now within crypto. So, hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. We're kicking things off with the team from Luci DAO. I hope I said that right, Luci DAO. Joining as a crypto Twitter space today. Obviously, the miners always has either top quality projects, really good infrastructure projects coming out, and with that, this is something that I will say is nothing short of it. So, would you like to just possibly introduce yourself, give us a little bit of background on yourself and what you are a part of the team there, and then give us like a high level overview of what Lucy DAO is, what the core mission is and value, and kind of what has fostered everybody as a team member to really grow, up into this, what I would say, start of a bull run. We want to kind of understand how you kind of built in the bear and how it was really a struggle. And then obviously after I look at it, I mean, if I could show you my camera right now, I'm wearing a Pepsi, like literally wearing a Pepsi on my wrist right now because I'm a watch guy. I'm a luxury guy. I don't have luxury cars. I have a bunch of stuff, but I have been very privy in my life to get gifts that were well above my pay grade level. But watches are one of them. I'm a huge fan of them, and I was just looking through a bunch of your information on all of that, kind of understanding that I could even monetize what I have here in the real world. So I don't want to get too much into it, but that was just a little excitement that I got when I was reviewing, your guys' product. And I will say some of the teams and other marketing that you guys have done are credible people that I work with myself. So I was really excited that after talking with some of them, saying, yeah, check them out, they're really cool. It's going to be a pleasure having them on. So with that, it's a great opening for you. So go ahead and take off the mic and lead us on.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you're a watch enthusiast because it helps a lot bringing the conversation. Because of course, not everyone is a watch or luxury collectible enthusiast, and since we are trying to bridge the real world assets, specifically luxury collectibles within the blockchain space, it's good that you have both understanding of the two words. But just to start, my name is Dax, and I'm one of the initial promoters and advisor of the Lucidao ecosystem. Actually, Lucidao doesn't have any legal entity, doesn't have a legal structure where you can see a founder, where you can see big token holders, like you can see maybe on other tokens or protocols. Lucidao was born via a fair launch, and this means that no tokens were gifted to any team members or were given out to advisors or partners. So everyone that wanted to jump in into the project, they had to buy their own tokens via the public sales of the project, and then of course buy the tokens throughout dexes and so on and so forth. So basically, Lucidao is a DAO, so a decentralized autonomous organization that tries to facilitate the connection between crypto and the real world. I know that is a big statement, so it can include many things. So this is why we actually focus more on real world assets. And when we speak about real world assets, we specifically talk about physical real world assets. No traditional finance or CBDCD. So all that stuff that is already present in the market. So what we are trying to do with Luci DAO is to try and connect real life products here, real life assets within the blockchain ecosystem. So how does Lucidao does this? So basically, Lucidao.
Well, one second. I actually want to I just want
Yeah.
to compliment you real fast before we go too deep on it. So you're saying from the very launch of this, it was 100% governance in the community and from open cell right from the beginning. And how long have you guys been total live for?
Let's say a couple of years now.
You see, right there, and I already knew the answer, but I wanted to hear it from you because it's always better from the team because I did my receipts. But that right there, 100% shows the value of the product and development and the real need for true governmentless or control-less ecosystems there that can work. So a couple of years of building and growing and launching, already launched, and to continue to get to now is very impressive. I just wanted to make sure we took a little highlight on that for people here now that are in the community, that this is literally built from the community, the ground up, and continually being built by the community and the engagement of the community. So that's huge. That's freaking huge. So go ahead and continue. I'm sorry.
No worries. And just to tell you some of these players that have joined us in promoting and participating in the overall DAO ecosystem, in the governance ecosystem. This means by possessing the token, because the Lucid token, is the only tool that will allow you to propose and vote towards the future of the protocol. And the nice thing about our governance is that is completely decentralized. So it's not like all other governance ecosystems that go through snapshot platform that I'm sure you know about, and then the decisions happen off chain and will be led by the team members. In our case, any development, any launch of product, any activation of partnership, or even just to bring $1 outside the treasury, has to be on chain and has to have the majority of the quorum to vote towards that. So I think it's a nice example of a governance, because we have seen in this sector many different projects that have been with the community voting towards one direction, and then the team going towards the opposite one. So I think it's very important for us to specify this, because we feel that to have this really governed by the community, we needed to start from day one this way. We couldn't
I totally agree.
switch it, and yeah.
It's all about transparency and honesty, right? And if you have a track record from the beginning and you follow through for this time period, right there on itself is a huge win, showing that like I always say that, because governance, there's a lot of governance out there, and a lot of them, and I'm not trying to say in a bad way, because you obviously proved that even the 1% of how they launched can do it, but a lot of them try to build this governance without actually having an ability to be governed, because either the community's not engaged or the ecosystem's not properly set up to where the community wants to engage with it. And so a lot of them fell. But in turn, you did it the opposite way. You did it where like gave everybody the chance to be in control. But what you guys had was an actual community that saw the value there and what you guys want to build and grow, and then saw that, oh, this team actually is doing what we asked them, not, oh, it looks like they're doing what we asked, but really it's these big changes that happen on the other side. So it's like, it really is pretty impressive, 100% how you've been able to run DAO, because I will say I love DAOs and I love the idea, but it is really hard to keep a DAO functioning for that long period of time, 100%, unless you have a huge amount of value that you're bringing to the investors, or they see that the value is going to come out of the development that they're voting on. So it's definitely like transparent and honest, but also hardworking, because it's not easy to keep a DAO, functioning like that and still be able to scale and develop at the pace you guys have been able to.
Absolutely, and actually, the DAO comes with benefits, but also with problems. Like you were saying, it's very difficult to. It's not like a private company where you can give it's a proper direction. It is easy to activate and execute the overall processes. And being on chain and completely decentralized, you always have to double check the code, because once it's published, then no one can modify it. Of course, you need to go through a DAO vote, like it takes days, all the proposal structure and so on. And so it takes a lot of time, and sometimes people do not understand. So it's not like building a centralized marketplace or a centralized website. Is something that has to go through legal checks to be sure that we respect the DAO ecosystem, but moreover audit checks. So we always have our smart contracts audited, whatever platform or DApp we are launching. We of course go through DApps through the audits, because it's very important for us to have an ecosystem that is reliable both on the legal side and the tech side. But to dive deeper, so Lucidao is just the overall ecosystem. So Lucidao itself is the governance ecosystem that allows people to propose and vote towards developing DApps, DApps that have their use both in the crypto space and then in the traditional space. So as we were saying at the beginning, the overall idea is to be able to connect these two distant worlds. Of course, there are some countries where it's very easy for a crypto holder or for a traditional business owner to be integrated with crypto, with blockchain, and for crypto holders to be integrated with traditional services and products, so to be able to use their crypto wealth and so on and so forth, like, I don't know, Dubai or Switzerland or many others. But the vast majority of the world is where there is a lack of regulation, a lack of clarity, a lack of legal ecosystem and network and understanding about this sector. And so, crypto holders find it very difficult to be able to integrate it with traditional businesses. So this is why we focus on launching applications, so DApps, decentralized applications that facilitate this connection. So basically, what we do, we think about all the legal stuff. We think about all the procedures, the tech, and so on and so forth, and we give this tool to the users. So the final users will be traditional business owners and crypto holders that can be integrated and can be communicating in a peer-to-peer matter thanks to our platforms. So the first platform that we have proposed and voted to launch is Altr, ALTR. So you can, of course, see the website. We have a link tree connected to our Lucidao X profile, the one we are speaking from today, and you can see all the websites. So the first one is lucidao.com. That is the overall governance ecosystem with all the description about the token, how the governance works, and so on and so forth. Then we have Altr.trade. That is the gateway, the marketplace, let's say, for luxury collectibles. So to make just a brief introduction about Altr, it was started as a pure marketplace for luxury collectibles. So basically, where crypto holders, thanks to their USDT on the Polygon blockchain, they could buy assets, so luxury collectibles. But at one point we said, why are we doing something that is very easy to replicate? Because if there's a Chrono24 or an eBay that wants to accept crypto, they just have to implement one of the thousands of companies that are in the space right now that facilitate fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, and we are already out of business. So we have to try to innovate ourselves. So this is why we have introduced the NFT technology in this marketplace. So basically, we give the possibility to business owners, so collectors, auction houses, dealers, to tokenize luxury collectibles and to be able to also fragmentize these luxury collectibles thanks to NFT technology. So basically, is a marketplace that allow people to buy expensive collectibles, not owning only entirely the collectible, but by owning also a fraction. So this basically democratize the overall space, because it's not for everyone to buy assets or collectibles that are valued hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars each. And those assets are the interesting one where to put the money in it, because the ones that are accessible to the world, like, for example, the basic Rolexes or the basic Rolex Daytonas and so on and so forth, are not the ones that will make you money. So the ones that will make you money are the super rare one, the ones that are just for the elite, and that will continue to grow in price day by day. And thanks to our platform, we can give access to these super rare, scarce items to more and more people, thanks to fragmentation via NFT technology. So this was the first functionality that we have launched with the Altr platform. As of now, we have actually sold only 2 products. You can understand all the work, all the legal work, and all the work to bring on board partners with us, because of course, to certify these items, to do the price indexes, to do the storage and so on. We are a DAO, we don't have a legal entity. So imagine how difficult it was for us to be able to partner with these people and to make contracts with these people. So to be able to partner with this platform was super difficult, because of course, whoever is dealing with luxury collectibles and high value items, they have a reputational problem. And so they cannot go with a platform they are not sure is rock solid, also from both from the tech side and the legal side. So we had to work a lot on that. And yeah, I mean, we have reached a nice result. We have sold 2 items. One was between, let's say, family and friends, and the first participants into the platform is a Rolex Daytona that was sold for 200K. I think there were like around 35 buyers, so that bought fractions of the watch, and now they are trading the watch in the secondary market, the fractions of the watch. And then
it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
the watch.
If you go on alter.trade,
yeah, I'm on there right now. I see it.
The Daytona 6265. So basically, yeah, that's is a beautiful watch. Is a NOS condition, so new old stock. So we wanted to bring something that makes sense for collectors to purchase, because it will hold its value. But this is not the proper example of collectible that we want on the platform, because a 200K watch, I know that I may be saying something weird to you now, is a watch that many can afford. You know, it's not a watch that is valued 1 million, 2 million, that maybe was produced in 5 pieces or limited pieces. This watch still is limited, was produced in around 200 pieces, but still is not that scarce, is not that, precious and so on. And, a millionaire can easily afford a $200K watch, but a millionaire cannot afford easily a 2 million, a 5 million, a $10 million collectible. So there is when fragmentation makes sense, because more and more people, even big guys, can think, okay, this can be an interesting way to differentiate my portfolio, okay, without having to be fully leveraged and fully exposed to a specific collectible. I can put maybe $10,000 here, $500 here, and whatever. So I think this concept will grow a lot. We have seen that to reach the proper user base for this type of asset classes, fragmentized and so on, is very difficult, because as you were saying proudly at the beginning of the call, you proudly wear your Rolex Pepsi, your GMT. So if you are an enthusiast or a collector, you're not just someone that wants to differentiate his portfolio, but you are buying these assets because of your passion, because you want to wear them. And so, if you just buy an NFT representing a co-ownership stake of this collectible, it's still not that, powerful. So there is a lot of marketing involved that we will be doing to be sure that more and more people will jump into this. The second item that we have sold was a car. Of course, we have more categories on the platform. The 2 first ones that we have launched are watches and cars. If you go on the top menu, there's
please, everybody too, if you take the time right now, go click on the Luci DAO right there, and right in their description is the alt.trade, and you can follow along on what we're talking about right here. And you can see everything we're messing around with and looking at and seeing all the hard work. And the platform is actually pretty beautiful, man. It runs very flawlessly.
Thank you.
I love the intro right when you come in, the watch, the little Rolex look, everything looks really good.
Yeah, and also just to have a little parenthesis about that, we have been, let's say, awarded with some of the biggest design awards in the world for one of the best designed websites, because when you do something with luxury collectibles, was very important for us to give a look and feel that was luxurious and something where luxury brands would want to partner with. Otherwise, if you do the crappy DeFi DApp that is very difficult to read and so on and so forth, I don't know if an auction house like Philips or Christie's or Sotheby's will ever partner with us. So, or directly the brands, like, I don't know, in the future we aim to have a Ferrari, we aim to have the Marpiguet and so on and so forth. But if you have a super crappy and easy website, you cannot do something like this. So just to I want to close this parenthesis and say that the second item that we have sold via the marketplace was a Ferrari F40. So a Ferrari F40 is still is not super limited. It's still a limited car in the sense that was produced in around 1,000 pieces. And this car has a value that can go between 1.8 million and up to $3 million, depending on the mileage, the condition, and so on and so forth. During the Formula One Grand Prix in Monaco last year, we have advertised the launch of the platform, the launch of the marketplace, together with the car. So basically, we have placed the car on top of a yacht during the Formula One Grand Prix. So we had this event with some other partners, and we promoted the car. I think some of you for sure have seen this. It went viral. I think there were more people talking about this car and this platform launching rather than the Formula One itself. Everyone was covering it. We had CNN, Sky Sports, and all the people coming on the boat doing live coverage. We had Central C with Dave doing the music video with the setting we have prepared in Monaco, and it was like I think the most successful album of 2023. So we did a good job with that, and for this the car was sold out immediately. So we sold out the car in July, straight after we put it up for sale. And yeah, just this to tell you the kind of things that we can do on chain thanks to our platform. But then we realized, we cannot afford, in order to sell a collectible, to do all these stunts every time. So that it made sense, because it was the first initial, big collectible we were selling, the first time we were advertising Altr to the world. But then we realized, okay, is there a real user base for this kind of product? There will be. So in the meanwhile, we have understood what is the real utility that collectors and traditional traditional businesses and crypto holders are looking for, and actually is to provide liquidity in a market that is illiquid. Because the fact is, luxury collectibles are a highly illiquid market if you're not an auction house or an experienced dealer, and so on and so forth. Because it is not like you go and buy and sell your token, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. There is no public market where you can do that fast. You have to go through a sale. You have to go through someone authenticating the item, giving the right appraisal and the right status of the item. So we have thought a lot about how do we bring this liquidity in the space. And then we came out with the lending platform. So basically, I'm sure a lot of you are experienced with traditional crypto peer-to-peer lending platform. So where you either hold an NFT as collateral as a borrower, and as a lender, you hold that collateral as a guarantee against your loan. Or instead of an NFT, you can hold another token like Bitcoin. You use Bitcoin as collateral to get USDT or any other liquidity that you need for your purchases, investments, and so on and so forth. Same thing. The only difference is that instead of having crypto or an NFT that doesn't represent nothing other than a JPEG, right? We have decided to launch this lending platform where luxury collectibles can be held as collateral. So how? We have launched lend.alter.trade. Still, you can find it in our link tree. So basically, this platform allows collectors to digitize their collections. Let's make the example of your watch, for example. So you own a GMT Master, you own the Pepsi. So it's a watch that in the market, let's throw some numbers on the table just to make a proper example. Let's say it's valued $20K, okay? And then you can go through the process of digitizing these assets. So you create the NFT. So we require for you to go through a form. You give us all the data about the watch. If you own the boxes, the papers, what's the condition, and so on and so forth. We give you a prior evaluation of the watch, even without seeing it. We ask you to share with us some pictures and videos. And if we agree on the price and agree on the fact that this watch can be used as collateral for a loan, you will have to either hand it over to one of our real life experts willing to give the authenticity certificate, or ship it to us. So we will give you all the info to do that. The item will be checked, authenticated, valued, and put in a storage facility in Switzerland. During that period, then you will receive in your personal area tied to your MetaMask wallet or to your on-chain address. You will receive a certificate, an NFT, representing the ownership of this collectible. And thanks to this NFT, you basically can use it as collateral for a loan. On the other side, there will be lenders, so liquidity providers, that can provide USDT liquidity, stablecoin, in exchange of holding these assets as collateral. So as of now, we have launched around, I don't remember the number, but around 15 loans with collateral luxury watches. We have started actually 10, 15 days ago with that. It was quite successful because you can understand how it's not like borrowing money against my crypto, against my Bitcoin. That is just a transaction. I put my Bitcoin, I receive the liquidity. There is a big process behind of authenticating, putting the item safe in a escrow storage facility, all the legal contracts behind that. So it takes a bit of time. But even if there is this big barrier to activate this process, we had already 5-6 users willing to put these items as collateral, and we have now around 300K in loans and 600K in collateral in the platform in terms of real value of these collectibles. And we have in the pipeline many more users that are shipping us or handing over our items. Many of these items are already in the hands of the experts that are certifying these assets and evaluating those. So it's something that is growing, is pushing, and we expect to have very soon millions in liquidity provided and millions in luxury collectibles collateralized. So I think that we have found with lending the right tool for collectors and the right tool for crypto holders to be exposed to this sector and to be able to bring liquidity in a sector that is very liquid. So instead of selling your item that you are tied to it emotionally, you just have to create your certificate, your NFT of it, and then being able to use it as collateral for a loan. So I will stop you. I will stop here. I know there's a lot of information, but
that was huge. No, but you know what? I always say when they're on the flow and they're getting it out, and you've been speaking real, like I would say, transparent and easy to understand. I don't like to even interrupt sometimes because that was exciting. And in a way, when you hear products or companies saying, oh, we're bridging Web 2 with Web 3, and then they try to really break it down, and you really still have to kind of understand and ask questions in the middle of that, then it's not as simple as they say it is. But with how you just broke down the lending platform, that right there itself is bringing world war assets, the whole Web 2 to the Web 3, and bringing value to the ecosystem, allowing people to have a new way to entry. Because there's a lot of people out there that they might not have a huge amount of liquid cash or liquid capital to start investing in crypto, or they might even just be too scared, but they might have other luxury assets that they have that they feel are more expendable, that they can use that as the risk factor and try to utilize that within the ecosystem. And I think that right there is the bridge in the simplest way right there. So definitely like that. The auction platform with the alt trade, the way you're able to do that with functionality, bringing that value back to NFTs in a meaningful way, I think it's going to be huge. But ultimately, I think the lending platform is a really juicy opportunity for a lot of these people that have a huge amount of assets. Like even like you're saying, my GMT, that's my everyday. I wear it all the time. So it is less of my luxury savatory, but I have a couple other ones that I don't really talk about, an old paddock and stuff that I have hidden away that is worth a good amount. And if I ever wanted to invest in crypto in a new way, I might be able to figure out this would be a good way to do it. So it's opening a new route to allow really that luxury or even upper echelon of collectors to be able to bring value to the ecosystem and their own products themselves. So I think that's freaking huge. With that being said, like we've talked about, obviously, like the obviously the tokenomics with how the release of the DAO and the token structure was. We talked about product stack. We talked about how everything functioned. Obviously, I've been on the website for a few days now, and I love it. Like I was saying, definitely knocked the ball out with it. It looked fantastic. It's fluid too. For having that much, I would say, graphics and stuff going on to a website, it was really put a lot of time in the back end because it's fluid, like it's smooth. There's no hiccups. There's none. It's very responsive. All the tabs work. And I always like to do that because those small details separate a lot of those other teams from people that are serious in the game. So I always like to mention that. But moving on with talking about the business and how everything functioned, really ultimately you've been live for a few years now. Community engagement and strategic growth with how you do your community campaigns, ambassadors, I think is an important role with any crypto Web3 product. So what are you doing to kind of incentivize or keep your community active or even grow and scale to new community members into the platform?
So I have to be fair with you guys. So we haven't been focusing a lot on that. I mean, I'm not saying this was the right move. So we haven't been focusing during the bear market in building the community. We haven't been focusing on pushing towards the token and the overall ecosystem because we were really focused on having the platform working. Because otherwise, we would have launched any other meme token, meme coin that's you just create a token, launch the contract, and do marketing about it without a proper timeline and functionality. For us, was very important to build first the platform, so bring utility to the users, and then starting to push the communication about the project. So as you can see today, we are here joining an AMA with this beautiful community. So because we are just starting with our efforts of showcasing the platform, showcasing what we have, because we reason more with the a traditional mindset of startups. So we'd rather have the products ready rather than marketing something that isn't working at all. So otherwise it would be governed just by hype of the market and just by where the overall sentiment goes. But for us, it was very important to have an active product so that people could actually benefit from it. So being able to provide liquidity as a liquidity provider, or provide my collateral, so provide my collectible to access more liquidity. So as of now, we are pushing. So we are active in having at least 1 or 2 AMAs per week by engaging with more and more communities here on X or Telegram, Discord, and so on and so forth. We have a strong, Instagram where we communicate. The luxury sector is mainly on socials like Instagram, for example. So where we present our products, where we present new potential, collaterals that are new borrow requests for liquidity providers, and so we try to step up. We are trying now to step up our communication. Of course, it's not easy because it's something new. It's something that you have to explain. It's not something straightforward. You see, I'm sure that overall, you even if you know very well the two sectors, you have for sure tens of questions about it. So it's very difficult to communicate something this complex. But this is why we are engaging this type of conversations, because we want to start little by little with now, I don't know how many are we, around 200 people here discussing about this and learning more about it, and potentially grow exponentially day by day.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And and my question was not necessarily about the marketing side, and I do appreciate you actually coming forth with that because I actually hate asking that question. Is like, what are you doing for marketing? Obviously, the teams are doing everything they can when it's time for marketing, right? But I we're really just I like to focus on and even if you guys like you're saying you weren't really focused on that. So here's a suggestion, just because I like what you guys are building. I think you guys have I hate to say very unique because once you're unique, but you have a unique place within real world assets and luxury branding that I think that you guys kind of hit it really on the nail that a lot of other projects kind of skipped it or missed or just didn't see it the way you guys see it. I mean, obviously within your two auctions were extremely successful because you did proper PR, you did proper marketing at that time for just that thing. And it was an explosion, right? It was like everything sold out so quick, you didn't even realize how much this was needed. And then that kind of bred to what you guys come now into what you guys are ready to start pushing. But what I meant is mainly like campaigns and growth things that are going to accumulate more people over the time, like ambassador programs. As you start to grow your product name, the most and branding name, the most organic and fastest growing thing in any crypto project is actually word of mouth. Most of the projects that I've
Absolutely.
actually been a part of it's been through word of mouth. So yeah, I was just asking if you guys had plans for any ambassador programs or anything that was going to help scale and grow the community by the community's help. But totally understand that, like you're saying, you're still real early and you guys are starting to do all that now.
Yeah.
That's just a few suggestions. That and a couple campaigns on some of these campaign sites, and I believe you guys are going to do excellent over the next, probably 6 months to a year as more and more money really starts to flow in. There's going to be that need for unique investments that are different, that actually hold value, and when the market starts to shift back down to that retracement, it will still have a tremendous amount of value because everybody knows luxury branding goes up once people start to get out of finance. They start putting in commodities, gold, watches, all that
Absolutely.
starts. It's a real funny balance. I mean, I've noticed it myself. So I
Yeah.
see the value here, and I love it. So with that being said, we've been running for about 40 minutes now. A little bit less, give or take. I always like to give, at least before I get into community questions or anything else, I always like to give you or the team, whoever's here at that time, 5 minutes to go over anything we might have missed, anything that you believe that is the best value proposition that for the takeaway for the community, because I don't want to miss anything. Because we talked about a lot, but there's still like in a platform this big and this well built, there's always something that might need to be covered that I might have missed, that my research might not have been there. So I was trying to give you at least 5 minutes towards the end before we get to community questions.
Absolutely. Something we haven't spoke really about is the Lucid token utility, because it's also an interesting thing to understand and the question that usually the community asks us. So what is the connection between the Lucid token and all the platforms? Because
Perfect.
everybody knows about the fact that you can use the Lucid to participate in the governance, but what's the real utility? So what other than that? So why should I buy the token? So first of all, of course, I mean, going over the overall governance narrative, the token will be will serve as a fee to access the service. So you won't need to hold the token directly. So you just can use USDT, but the fees of the platform, let's say at least 70 or 80% of those fees will be converted into a market buyback of Lucid tokens. So basically, every time there is an operation, a transaction, and so on and so forth, and we are just starting. So of course, this couldn't be reflected into the markets already. All these fees will be converted into a buyback of the token at market price. So this is a nice feature to give back to the community that has been supporting to us. Secondly, we are going to launch in the next, let's say, 2 months, an interface. So it is basically a staking interface where people can stake their Lucid tokens, and thanks to that, they can get different advantages. So as a platform users, for example, as a borrower that is using its own collateral to get and get liquidity from liquidity providers, I can stake in different tiers Lucid tokens to get discounts on the APR I have to pay, for example, or I can get a slightly higher valuation of my collectible that is held as collateral. So of course, I have to start by saying that the valuations are very, very conservative. So we have a bit of margin we can work on, and this is the overall reason we have these tiers to improve your conditions. On the other side, for a lender, it can improve its own APY. So by holding the token, staking it, you can improve your overall APY. So we are going to introduce many of these processes for all the functionalities of the platform. So now I cannot go through all of them, otherwise it will take 1 hour. But the Lucid token will be the real deal of the platform. So will be the real tool that will give you better access to the platform and discounts and better usage of it. One thing that we're going to introduce that doesn't is not actually needed to utilize the platform will be raffles. So basically, we'll give the possibility to token holders to stake their tokens to participate in a raffle. So we are still deciding the format, but will be live in the next 1-2 months. Basically, if you have Lucid and you stake it in that specific pool, you will be entitled to participate in a raffle of a luxury collectible. So you can win actually a luxury collectible based on the tokens that you are staking. So we are going to start with a $15K watch. So once you own the Lucid, you stake it in this pool, and based on how much tokens you have staked, you will have more chances to win the watch. Of course, will be all on chain, all decentralized, all facilitated by the use of this technology, and of course not centralized. So all this stuff will come with the token. So I think that the Lucid will more and more be more popular and will be the real fuel of the overall platform.
No, I totally agree, and I actually thought that's pretty bullish the way you set up to where the person that actually puts up their luxury, for auction, getting their tokens and staking it within their ecosystem to increase their APY, which then makes their product look more, enticing for those that want to invest into that product itself. I like that approach because it kind of gives it a two-way engagement. Because a lot of times saturation is a problem within a platform, and I'm not trying to say like it's always a bad thing, but what happens is once a luxury or an item, like not even a luxury, but just something goes up for sale like that, and and the APR starts to drop, without that other incentive of it kind of having some stability or even regrowth because of the person that staked it could put an extra amount of tokens in there that they've accumulated to make their watch more enticing, the rest of their NFT fractionals will sell. Like that whole idea that allows you to kind of grow and scale that within the ecosystem is pretty fascinating. Like I like that approach because, like I was saying, bringing value to your ecosystem, you can only do so much. But if your product inherent has the technology to allow the people that are within it utilizing it to be able to adjust things to bring more value to their investment or the products is a huge step and a big differentiator, I think, in a lot of ways of what real world assets should be able to be utilized. Because like we're saying, if I did put up a luxury watch on it and its value went up a lot, I'm going to want to incentivize the rest of people to invest in it at that better value and increase the APR, because I then see that there's extra value in it. And so it's just a really cool takeaway both ways and allow for huge value and deep liquidity to really be apparent on the chain, which is pretty cool. It's definitely a different way and a different aspect that I think, it's an infrastructure that is so immature right now or it's a mature infrastructure within an immature system. Like blockchain is so young and so early. I think this is just another avenue that's going to help kind of stabilize its growth outside of just the fiat world of it. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. With that being said, if you have some time, I wouldn't mind, possibly getting a few community questions up. I have about 5 or 6 hands up, and usually by the time I start doing, they start to flood in, and then we'll do about 10 minutes of that, and then we'll go into closing statements.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what we got. I usually got some good veterans that come in here, and it's no short of them. All right, let's see. I've tried a couple of you guys a couple of times and it failed, so I'm going to try you one more time, Immortal. I remember you a couple of times. I tried to get you up. I don't know if it's a mic issue, but I'm going to try getting you one more time right now, and then I'll probably pop up some of my veterans because they always got really good questions. So, Immortal, you going to break the ice with us? Let's get a good question in here. If it lets you go on mute or off mute. There it goes. Give him just a second for his mic to actuate. Are you ready, buddy? This happens to him every time. Don't fail me this time, Immortal. I let you up. This is the third time, bud. Let's get that mic unmuted. No, every time. I don't know if he hasn't gave it permission or what happens, but every time he gets up and then he can't speak. So I'm gonna have to pick someone else, and hopefully he can speak. I'm gonna pick. Let's try. There's another new name. I like how let's start off with a new name, give someone an opportunity to join the community, feel a part of it. I don't even want to try pronouncing this, but when you're unmuted, go ahead and ask your question. I see you, Julian. Don't worry. Go ahead whenever your mic's unmuted. Yash. That's all I'm gonna say about that name. Go ahead, bud.
Hello, can you hear me?
How you? I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is your platform suitable for crypto beginners or does it only limited for professional user? This is my question.
I think it's a nice question. We haven't spoken about this. So basically, of course, you can participate within the platform by connecting your MetaMask wallet or so on and so forth. So let's say between brackets, professional user. But we also allow people to connect via their social logins, so either Gmail or Apple or Twitter, Discord, whatever. So basically, that process will involve you just signing in via the traditional ways you would do for any other platform or marketplace or social networks. And we work with Web Auth. So basically, it works that they will provide for you a wallet. So once you connect with your email and password, you will have a wallet tied to it. So you will have one specific wallet within the platform. So that would be for beginners. So you don't need to have any understanding about creating a wallet or saving your private keys. You just know that you have your email and password, and you are on the platform already. Another thing I have to say, we support beginners throughout the process. So either you are a liquidity provider that comes from fiat, or you are a collector that doesn't have any understanding about crypto, we follow you through the process. So we will have always one guy connecting with you on Google Meet and following you through the process, digitizing, providing liquidity, changing your crypto into fiat. We have a Coinify as a partner for the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, but we also help you out in maybe creating your exchange and so on and so forth. So we really want to, be a sort of boutique for these clients.
All right.
Okay,
That was a good answer.
thank you.
Hope that answered your question, buddy. Thank you for coming up here, man. That was a good question. All right, let's get another one. All right, more looking Mortal dropped out. That really sucks. I was really hoping to give him a chance. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up. Let's try another new one, and then I can round out a couple of our veterans that we have here. Liam Dax, whenever you're approved, go ahead with your question. There we go.
Yeah, hello.
Go ahead with your question, bud.
Okay. Let me say, okay, seeing that Luci DAO is like a reward, is looking into the reward assets. I just wanted to know, do you have plans or vision for the physical real, to dive into real estate?
So as of now, we are mostly focusing on luxury collectibles. So the first target we have is to develop the platform and its functionalities with these two initial categories that are cars and watches. Not just because we are limited to that, but because our team, our partners are all people involved in this space. So we have the best understanding possible of these kind of assets. So we have auction houses partnering with us, like international dealers, experts. And so it was very important for us to start with something that we know best. The third category that we are going to launch is art. So to stay still inside the world of luxury collectibles, but this technology can be then scaled for any other category. So you can think about real estate, you can think about sneakers, you can think about wine. So whatever thing can be tokenized. Of course, real estate brings a bit more of complexity because it's not something that you can't move. It's an asset that brings with itself more bureaucracy, more the need of notaries for the transfer of ownership and so on and so forth. So as of now, we wanted to reduce the complexity the most. So this is why we are just focusing on collectibles. One other thing, sorry, that I would want to add is that it's very easy to attract liquidity against real estate. So the traditional banking system already does mortgages and loans against real estate, and they have pretty nice interest rates and APR. So it's very difficult to compete with that because it's something that is very well developed. Regarding luxury collectibles, there is nothing in the space, so it's way easier for us to make a point.
Yep, and I 100% agree with that last answer, and I think that's the reason why I saw how unique this actual ecosystem really brings the value from the real world assets to the blockchain, because there's no one out there, even in the Web2 space, unless you're going to a private broker or someone that privately would lend you money for that asset, knowing the value. And it's hard to even get that or build that trust out there in the Web2 or real world place. So having a decentralized place that can facilitate that right there is, in my eyes, a dream for anybody out there that has a bunch of luxury items but is low on capital, might need to raise capital, or would like to expand into other markets due to this capital raise or liquidity raise that allows you to really see a different side of what the market can bring. So definitely love it, and thank you for that question, bud. All right, we'll get one more live question in here. I was trying to bring you all up here, but time always flies so quickly whenever we're having fun. It really does kind of be a bummer when sometimes an hour just doesn't feel like it's long enough. So go ahead, Julian. I did tell you I was going to bring you up, and I promised Mia and Alicia and Juice, Alan, all you guys, we're going to have plenty more Twitter spaces. I'll have you guys up. Go ahead, Julian, round us out with a good question.
Okay, thank you very much for bringing me up. So my question is, I really just like to know, considering the fully decentralized and autonomous nature of Lucidao on the Fantom network, so I really like to know, how does the project address some potential issues such as smart contracts vulnerabilities, and what are also some measures which are put in place to achieve continuous security improvement? Thank you.
So just to start, we are on Polygon. We have started back in the days on Fantom, but then Sandeep directly, so the founder of Polygon and Polygon Labs, invested in our project. So we decided to switch to the Polygon ecosystem. Still EVM compatible, so it was very easy to relaunch the smart contracts on the Polygon space. But basically, we go through independent audits. So we work with mainly with three auditors. Recently, we have partnered with Quantstamp and Aken, that are two of the leading firms in the space for when it regards to smart contract security. So whatever smart contract that is launched live and public will need to go through a smart contract audit. So for example, the lending contract has been audited by two different companies. So these ones I was telling you about. So it's very important for us that once something is decentralized, is rock solid, not only on the smart contract side, but also on the legal side. So this is what we have been doing. And then of course our IT team is very experienced in the crypto ecosystem. So I would say that we have a pretty good team that is working on the smart contracts.
Wow, thank you for that one.
Yeah, great question, man. Thank
you very much. I'm grateful.
Thank you, Julian. You always come up with a really good question. Yeah, You always got good ones. No, and I will say right now, if you go to the Alt Trade website and you scroll all the way to the bottom, which is what I always do, and I look at what they have down there, like their privacy, their cookies, their terms. I'm a nerd. I read all that, but right down there on their links has the links to their CertTech audit. And if you really are someone that likes to deep dive and understand how their contract is built and what functionalities are there or why they went certain ways, and you want to have that third party that looked over it to make sure, yeah, they did it this way, but it's good and it's solid and it's really there. You can get right to their CertTech audit, which I always say, if you're going to have independence hacked on, like all the ones he just said literally were the top dogs, and then CertTech obviously in that top dog, especially with what they've been doing lately with the whole CertTech ecosystem has been undeniable, phenomenal. And the move to Polygon and having the Polygon as an investment right there is another huge cadence to not only what they're building, guys, and what the future of blockchain looks like, but I tell you what, bigwigs like Polygon and those VCs, they don't invest in just good product. They invest in the team behind that product. And like I always stress this, almost every AMA that we've been having lately, because it's been extremely great ones with great teams, is to always do your due diligence, but also look up what this team's doing. Follow them. Some of them have LinkedIn's and Twitters that you can go and click and follow. And this is where the value is in the ecosystem. These are people that see and build and do great in this ecosystem for you for many years. So why not follow along with people that are going to be, like I'm saying, working with the greatest? Polygon is one of my favorite ecosystems. And so just all in all, seeing how far and how powerful they're going about building their ecosystem and platform, and then to now showcasing it and all the credibility that they have with the audits, with the people supporting them and backing them, it's a no-brainer that you should definitely be doing your research, turn on your notifications, and waiting to see what they're building. With that being said, do you have any last-minute call to actions? Anything you want to say before we close it out today?
Absolutely, something we have touched based on already. So the lending application is now live. There are many different loans already active. We have provided a lot of liquidity already, but there are like 4 or 5 new borrow requests. So if you are a liquidity provider or someone that is willing to tap into quite nice returns with zero risk, because literally the valuation of these collectibles are very conservative. So we value them less than 50% of their actual value. So you can provide liquidity, get a 10% APY over a 1-year period. So that's the maximum term we have on the platform to guarantee, the liquidity of these assets. But you can easily browse the lend.alter.trade platform. You can go also through our X, and you will find all the links. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And also the fact that now we are investing a lot in mostly our time to communicating and to debating over this platform is just the start of growing the community. So I have to say that you are pretty early here.
I totally agree. And everybody knows how crypto is. I mean, BTC Ace going back up to all-time highs is exciting times, but it's still so early. So if you're not making the right decisions now, you're going to be just like everybody that is too late, kicks themselves in the butt. So like I always say, do your plenty of research, get in there. With that being said, man, I really thank you for joining us today. Luci DAO is obviously an extremely cool ecosystem that I believe everybody should at least go get a hands-on, check it out, see the functionality. There's no better way to actually understand the value and what value is going to bring to you until you get into the ecosystem and just start seeing it and trying it out. So with that being said, I love the insightful, transparent, and innovative approach to real-world assets and how you're bridging crypto and Web2 in order, to facilitate new value within the ecosystem and bring new money and new assets and new functionality to NFTs is fascinating. And I can't wait to see the future for you guys. So please keep us updated. Don't forget us here at the Miners. Yeah, give us all the updates you can so that we can keep it updated to our community, and then we can just help you scale and grow by our side and what we do over here at the Miners. So I really do appreciate it. And until next time, you have a great day and good luck with everything. And I really hope for the best, because seriously, great teams building great products, they deserve all the best. So I really do appreciate your time, bud.
Thank you, guys. Talk soon.